Who are you wearing?
Shantall Lacayo.
Life is about opportunities, and when you take them, you must be ready
Is it stressful being a clothing designer?
all the time. But after Project Runway, the sales increase.
Hello and welcome to the Elena Cardone Show. Women empowering women over here, up in here today. Is going to be spectacular, throwing down of awesome inspiration bombs to come, I know, because I am bringing to you the one, the only. We've got Shantall Lacayo, fashion designer extraordinaire, as you can tell from my fabulous outfit. It is one of a kind from yours truly over here. Project Runway winner, United States, first Latin American winner for Project Runway, United States. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Elena. You look amazing.
Well,
what are you wearing?
Shantall Lacayo, Nicaragua's beauty, inspiration, designer extraordinaire. If you don't know, now you know.
And now Miami base. So
yes, Miami base. So I met you the other afternoon here at an event in Miami, and you were just spectacularly dressed. You instantly caught my eye. We started speaking, and then I discovered who you were. And of course, I was like, well, come on to the show and let's just chop it up and talk. And I wanted to know how you got here. Did you grow up in Nicaragua?
Yeah, I grew up. It's so crazy. I mean, it's been such a long journey. I'm about to be 40 next year, and I feel like 20 something, of course. But oh my God, I was born and raised in Nicaragua. I went to study fashion designing in Argentina. I lived there for 6 years.
But when you grew up in Nicaragua, tell me what that looks like for 2 seconds. Is it poor? Is it not poor?
Well, depending on of the way you see it, yes, it's a very poor country, but at the same time, you can enjoy other things that a poor country gives you, such a beautiful nature, such virgin beaches, that you can go and there's nothing around. So, but at the same time, in my country, there's this word that they said, when the country is small, the dreams are big. And I think that was something that I really carry with me, that born and raising in a small country, it was, dreaming and seeing whatever it was in the TV. So I started constructing since I was little, such beautiful dreams, And when I had the opportunity to go to Argentina, which it was a bigger country, and I see people and they were more, maybe not that big dreamers. I don't know. And I didn't
Life was easier, or
I don't know. Maybe it's easier or even harder.
Or the necessity level wasn't as prominent as in Nicaragua?
For me, it was I was living in a country that you have theaters and you have movies and actors and all the things that in Nicaragua didn't exist. In Nicaragua, it was just about sports and stop counting, and hurricanes and things like that, but not fashion world, forget it. Or so, yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I went to Argentina. I studied in Argentina. And then I realized that all that I needed actually was in my country, that I was trying to create my brand. And my DNA was more important, the work from the artisans, all the story, all the history, all the knowledge. And it was about, giving a sense to the brand. So I went back to Nicaragua after 6 years, and I started working with different communities to understand more about the techniques and the way the culture worked in Nicaragua. And
how did you know it was already in Nicaragua? What happened in Argentina to make you say, wait, I have to go now back?
Well, I think it was important, in Nicaragua, I was raised by a single mother. Mm-hmm. Actually, she raised my sister and I didn't have the opportunity to study fashion design. So I thought, okay, if I cannot study fashion designer, what can I study that helped me get there? So I studied marketing. So I thought, like, okay, I want to have a business. So I will try to study something that helped me to create that business, and know a little bit about strategies and market. And it's not that I'm a genius on that because I'm a designer, but it helped. So I went to Argentina after study marketing, and I study technical career. And it was the first time, that you start, understanding the process of creating, and going deep and deep and deep. And I realized that I needed to go back. I needed to go back. By the way, um, I participate at the end of the years in Argentina. I participate in Project Runway Latino America 11 years ago in Argentina. It was the whole Latino America. And I got into a final, but I didn't win.
You won second place.
Yeah, exactly. Second, I think it's second. It's not second place.
It's second runner up.
Yeah. So you have like the winner, the second, and then you have like
the
it's
second
like
runner
a third
up.
place. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
got it.
And it seems it was a long journey, long journey. And I went back, and it was beautiful, having the experience to go to the mountain, to work with a group of women who are creating the textile. And, it's a lot of challenges there because you're thinking of production and everything. And, it's not that easy too. So it's the way of figuring out how can you have that little piece of culture in your clothes, but at the same time thinking on selling and producing and massive and everything. So here I am.
So that's amazing. How were women viewed in Nicaragua? Like, are they encouraged to go out and do business?
Actually, most of the country, it's poor people. Actually, we work with a nonprofit organization that it's called Extraordinary Women. And what they work, and we work with them, it's actually giving these women who have no knowledge, they don't know how to read, they live in deep poverty. We give them skills, we teach them how to have a better self-esteem. Most of the women in Nicaragua, the poor women, it's not just about being poor. It's about being poor. It's about having violence in your house. It's about probably being the only ones who brings food into your table.
The women.
The women.
The women are responsible for bringing the food?
When there's no men, which is most of the cases, that you have a man with different families and not taking care of nothing, like that's very common in countries in Central America. It's not like, let's say you live in this country and you have a kid and, all the system works because you have a social and you have a work and you have to give them half of your income to your children. It doesn't work like that. It works like you have a kid and then you disappear, and then you have a woman who have to take care of the kids on their mother or the grandmother, and that's the way most of the time it happens. Yeah.
Was that what happened with your mother?
Well, my mother, something similar. I mean, thank God I was raised in a family that middle class, that I have education and nothing. I mean, I wanted to go to Parsons and I couldn't, but at least I studied marketing and I always have a good education, and that's good. My father is a painter. He's an artist. So I don't blame either, like it was another generation. But yeah, he wasn't there, not to take care of me, like not to follow that dream. But then like as a woman now, I understand, and I don't take away him from my life, because he's the grandfather of my children. I just learned to understand that he had his problem probably when he was young. So, and I'm like, well, I use Lacayo because of my mother. That's why I give Lacayo to the name of my mother.
To her.
Yeah, because at the end it was because of her. I mean, everything's because of her and my husband and my sister and everybody who supports me, like who push this dream.
Did you learn how to do the marketing, that interest that first kind of got you over to Argentina, right?
Yeah.
W- Did you learn that from seeing your mother work? Like,
Mm,
where did that bit, like, where does,
you
where,
mean leaving?
yeah, if I understood you correctly, you didn't come from the poverty level. You came more
No.
from middle class, but
Yeah.
your mother was the sole provider of the family.
Yeah.
Like, did she kind of indoctrinate that into you? Like, you have to depend on yourself, like go find your calling in life?
I mean, I think sometimes you need two things, like first you have to you born with that thing that sparkles inside of you. I don't know how to explain it, of wanting more, and it's something that you were born with. And second, you have an excellent mother who's pushing you to whatever you think and you said that you want to become. She just go for it, like you want to go to Argentina. I don't know how, but go for it. Like we will see what to do, and that of
Wow.
course encouraged me a lot because it it it, it, it felt that I wasn't crazy, so if my mother, who's the adult, is saying like go for it, I was always convinced. We were talking, actually we talk a lot because she managed our team in Nicaragua. We have a team in Nicaragua, and she was saying, we were talking about sponsors and other things, and she was saying like, but Shantall, why are you worried? Like every time you want something you always get it, and that's the way, like, so you're like, yeah, right, like she's right. So it makes me think that nothing's impossible, because it's just the way she is.
Do you think if your mother was different, it would have been harder for you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I cannot say that I wouldn't be here because I know that I was born with that thing.
Right.
But definitely,
You would have had to overcome it.
yeah. I mean, she's been my support.
Right. So this organization that you work with that helps women get that self-esteem.
Yeah, they do have different workshops.
Mhm.
Let's say right now we were for December we were working in this Sweet Dreams project. So it was, about, they were raising money about giving a group of women some workshops of how to create like chocolates and sweet things so they can sell. They explain a little bit about finance, something very basic, about how to manage their finance. So it's a little bit of everything, depending on the workshop during the year.
So when you help them have their self-esteem more, that's certainly one way to help them by giving tools. But for the women out there that don't have a supportive mother, maybe the boyfriend left, they're raising kids on their own, they might feel a little lost, down on their self-esteem. What advice could you give that person to stay strong, continue to move forward,
Well,
or take that next step on their
well,
journey to life improvement?
I feel that, well, now that I'm a mother, after I see my mother, the way she raised my sister and I, and I'm like, I don't know how she did it, alone. But men are great, but women, we have something that we can with everything. Today, I was at a school of my. Today, I was in the school with my youngest, one of my youngest, my 4-year-old. He's autism, and I saw this woman with his kid who had, I don't know what the kid has, but she was in the car taking the wheelchair,
Mhm.
and I was thinking, oh my gosh, she's such a champion. And I got my window down and I'm like, hey lady, you're a champion, and she was like, why is this? But sometimes we need somebody to tell
cheerleader.
us that, like, yeah, you're a champion, like you're taking your kid out of the car. I mean, with my 4-year-old, it's so hard. And now imagine like with like an old kid. And I was like, wow, it was incredible. So if I would have to say something for this kind of women, is that I don't know, but we have something that it comes from inside that you can with everything. Another thing is about faith. You can hold in whatever you need. You believe. I'm very open, like whatever you believe, but stick to that faith, that eventually, life gives you, but try to focus in the good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important.
Beautiful. Is that one of the biggest challenges that you've had to be faced with?
No, I think I haven't. I was reading, the questions, and I have, like, there's no one big challenge because life it's a challenge. You have to, sometimes you just wake up one day and you have no energy, and the day, you stand up with the left feet. So it's not about, of course there's things that are harder than other, but let's say, okay, when they told me that life it's weird, because I remember when I was actually going to Project Runway, I was in the interview, the final interview after a year, and it was like at 4 p.m.
It was a year interview?
Yeah, because then COVID came and
Oh,
everything stopped,
God.
and they want to do it again. Like it was like a 1 year interview. So after
Jeez.
like 12 interviews, and at 8 p.m., my son was having an evaluation. And at 12 p.m., they said,
For the first time.
for the first time, we were thought something was happening. So at 12 p.m., they called me back after the evaluation, and they told me, you have Franco had 12 red flags from 20 with autism possibilities. And I was just like, like,
Oh my
like,
God.
how do you say that? Like when you're just like, going like that. And I was like, I cannot cry because in 4 hours I have after like, the last interview. So life gives you, something that you have to deal with it, and then gives you another good, and this is life. This is life. So you cannot say, oh, I had this. The worst thing. No, so many things. Like we have no time with your podcast to talk about all the things that have happened to me in my life.
Because that is life.
That is life.
Do you have family support?
And I have my family support, of course. Did I have to talk? I talk to my mother, to my sister, to my husband, to whoever can hear me.
Friends? Do you have friends?
Yeah, I have friends.
You have a lot of friends?
No, I don't have a lot of friends.
Why?
I have a few friends. And
why do you not have a lot of friends?
Because I'm very selective, and because I like friends where I can be myself. And I'm not always in the mood of being charming, and being perfect. So I would like to be with a friend who can, like carries me if I need help, and not to be faking, like
circumstances.
Exactly. No. So I know a lot of people, and I enjoy being with a lot of people, but friends. Yeah, I think this
is a common theme as I'm interviewing people. I'm finding that a lot of people don't have a lot of friends. They have a close little circle. So how do you pick your circle? Do you have by core values? How do you pick your friends?
Well, I think you have different type of friends. You have friends that are more in the like social business friends, that you have a good energy and empathy, and you have a great day.
Yeah.
Then you have like your closest friends that you're going to be in pajamas if you want. You have to wear your makeup on. You don't have to. You can talk about your problems and everything. And you have other friends, that you became new friends. I mean, I'm not close to having new friends. And I'm always very happy that life have always given me like new people coming in my life, that it's very nice.
It is nice.
I think it's very important when people give you a plus of something. It could be a knowledge. It could be contacts. It could be energy. It could be, but I like to have people around me that gives me, not takes me,
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to give, I will give, but it should be like a giving and receive and giving and receive, So because it's a way of in this world that everything is so challenging, trying to be in a better mood and more happy, and I try to see it that way. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's too selfish, but
No,
I
I
try
mean,
to.
not for me. I'm the exact same way. I know the role of every single person in my life and how we exchange.
Yeah.
Um, do you trust women?
Yeah, I trust women.
Me too.
I know we are very competitive, but continuing with this story, I came 5 years ago. I left Argentina. I come back to Nicaragua. And then 5 years, we decided to come to the US because we wanted the business to grow. And it's incredible the networking of women that I've met, and they've done so many things for me just because I don't know if they want to give life back something, but yeah, I trust women. Yeah.
Do you trust men?
Yeah, I trust men. It's
Mhm.
a different way of trust. And it's always good to have that men's energy. I do have men's friend. There's some women who just have women friend. And
Mm-hmm.
I do have good friends. It's another type of support. Maybe not that emotionally, but more rational and more, cold. And sometimes you need a cold answer, and
You think women are too soft with each other?
it's not soft, the
With the
word.
feelings? Or...
Maybe we are more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Well, my best friend, she's very cold. So, like.
She tells
So-
you straight up?
No, yeah, that's why she's my friend.
Yeah.
Like she's,
Yeah.
yeah, I've cried so many times. And she's like, yeah, I have to tell you, So that's another thing that, like, that's why I don't have too many friends, because I'm very straightforward. So, not everybody is ready to listen and to hear.
Is that frustrating when you give advice and they don't listen?
No, because at the end, it's not my life. I mean,
Right.
a friend is, as a friend, you're there to give 100 times the same advices. It doesn't matter if they hear it or not. Like, that's why you are a friend of.
Mm-hmm.
Say it like 100 times, Like, at the end, it's their life. You feel better. You feel bad when friends are suffering, but at the end, it's their life, their story.
And you have a big team now that works for you?
We have a good team. We are around 10 people.
Mm-hmm. Is that here in Miami?
We have our team or tailors in Nicaragua. They've been working with us like for years, even before I left the country.
Out of their homes in a factory? Like,
No,
tell
we
me
have
the
a
setup.
factory.
Yeah.
We have a small factory. So we do from our production. Before Project Runway, we used to have just our team. But after Project Runway, the sales increased. So we had to get a new supply chain.
Wow.
So we do produce in Colombia and China, but we still have our team because it's like the soul of the brand. So
Mhm.
we have like more commercial stuff, but we still have, like that brand DNA that maybe has like wooden handmade buttons and things like that, that most of the things they're made in Nicaragua.
And is it stressful being a clothing designer?
All the time.
Why? Where does the stress come from? The ideas, the creation,
The
the duplication of getting it done?
The creative process is the most stressing part.
What is that?
Because you have to sit down during hours looking at the mood board, and trying to figure it out what to do next. You want to you want to reinvent yourself, but at the same time you have to keep the heritage, and so it's very hard, and be trendy, and thinking about if it's wearable and the costs and everything. So it's a hard journey. At least for me, it's a hard journey, because I'm very, I don't know how to say it in English, like exigente. That means like I ask to myself a lot. So And now as a mother, even harder, you know, because when I didn't have kids, it was still frustrating, but now with kids, less time. So
Does that make you have to produce faster?
um, you have the timeline when to finish the creative process, then when to start producing the samples, and then once the samples are approved, when we start producing the quantities for the inventory we have. So the hardest part of these three is the creative process.
Are you hard on your team? Are you?
I'm not hard. I'm very. I'm trying to say it to translate it in English. Yeah, I'm
Do you
not
expect?
hard. I have big expectations.
That's what I was going to say. Do you expect
have-
competency?
Yes. I'm very like that. That's why it's so hard. Like work with my mom. Imagine like when we're thinking different, but yeah. So something it's family, and then when we are like in business mood, we think different. But yeah, I'm very, you know, very focusing and hoping. I give 100% of me, so I expect team give 100% of them. But at the same time, I do understand other things, you know, about like, you know, like we passed for so many crises, COVID, political crisis, everything, and in the last 6 years, and I still have the same team. So
wow.
So I work hard. I expect the same.
Do you have a mission statement for the company?
Yeah, I mean, everything's about, you know, about the heritage. We have to, whatever we do, you know, it's about, we have to conserve our values of what we do. That's why in this process of growing, we still have the team in Nicaragua. You know, it doesn't matter.
Because it's so important.
It's so important, you know. So that's part of our mission, you know, that that our clothes have to have the same ideals of what we are, about our culture, about helping other women, about working with this nonprofit that we work with as a team, you know, and it's a team effort. So that will be our mission.
Yeah.
That it has to be in our products.
And that's probably why they're with you, because that's a mission they can stand behind.
Yeah.
Because they want,
and they feel home.
Yeah. And so where do you see the brand in 5 years? Where do you want to go?
Well, I want to go I have so many dreams.
Tell me.
Well, I think, of course, selling online. We are definitely focusing right now in the online.
Do you do that right now?
Yeah, we're doing that right now.
Where do people go to?
To get
your
website?
So I can buy it right off the
Shantall.com.
Shantall.com.
You can find us there. Exactly.
Okay.
We are in a few stores in Central America. We are planning on, of course, getting more stores that carries our brand. Same to US. We are right now in Miami. We are in Curio, Faena Bazaar, and we're looking, of course, to place the collection in different stores, grow online because it's better for us, you know, like it's all our sales are for us. And if that will be with the brand, right? Increase our sales, of course, as many as we can. And other thing, I have other projects, you know, like I would love to have a collaboration with Target.
Wow.
I think it will be very cool. Like,
I would love that.
I don't know if you've had the chance. Target, sometimes you get into Target and there's like these corners that they have a collaboration with different brands, and it's so beautiful and so unique in such a reasonable price for everybody. So I think it will be very cool to be.
Do you know anyone over there?
No, if you know, like you can introduce it to me, but that will be something that I would love to do. I would love.
Could you handle that production? Let's say right now, you get your Target,
not with the Nicaraguan production, but the production for China, yeah, we do.
So all of a sudden they have 1,000, I don't even know if that's realistic, but 1,000. They want 1,000 of these suits because Elena Cardone wore
Is
it.
wearing
Isn't it
it.
just beautiful? I'm showing it off here. Yeah, 1,000. You can go into
Yeah,
production
yeah.
right now. That's
Yeah, we
not going to
can go.
stop you.
That's not gonna stop
Oh,
us.
that's awesome. What about
Maybe
Neiman?
3 years ago
No,
we
but
couldn't,
now you've
but
got
now
that
we are.
handled.
Yeah.
What about Neiman Marcus?
Well, Nimes, it will be, something amazing. That's another thing. Right now, our range price of our clothes, it's between 150 to 400. So it's
Love
it's
it.
easy to
It's
get it,
easy.
and
Yeah.
we want to have like a second line that it's more high level, so that kind of line we could have it like in Nimes or in department stores like that. Department stores will be another step for us to be in the contemporary
Yeah, that's right. You said it right.
contemporary floor.
Yeah.
That's something that we are following right now. Let's say Saks or say, I don't know.
How many doors can you open because you won the Project Runway?
Well, after
Can you
winning,
call the Target head of so and so and say, "Hey, I won"?
Hey, no.
No?
I think
How do
it's
you know?
incredible. Well, because
Well,
I
have you tried?
Yeah, I've tried Saks. I'm there. Like the people from Saks Miami will love to have me here, but to have me here, we have to go to the New York one, and I haven't got the chance to get that interview with the right one from New York. So it's been,
We got to make this happen?
yeah, totally. I Ramona, please.
Oh, so you already know who?
Yeah.
Okay, Ramona, let's go.
Yeah, from the one from Miami. She loves me. She's the one her name is Ramona.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
okay,
Ramona. Now the other girl from
New York.
from New York, it's another girl. Yeah, so we haven't had the chance, but it's something that I haven't pushed that much because we just changed our supply chain 2 years ago, and having an account like Saks, it could be the best or the worst opportunity ever if you're not right. So it's the second production we're doing in China right now, and last year we did with Colombia too. So I'm just trying to get more solid my supply chain in order to be more serious about pushing harder.
Yeah, because once you get focused, it's like your mom said, like you get
yeah,
everything
I know I'm
you
gonna
want. So
get
you're
it, but
the
I don't.
stop.
I am. I want to be honest with you guys, and it's because I want to be ready. Life is about opportunities, and when you take them, you must be ready. Because if not, you're trying to run faster than what you really can. And in more than 5 years, of course, in a long time, I would love to be like the next Brito from Miami. Yeah,
I love Brito.
Yeah, I like when you come to the airport.
Yes,
because I love printing, and that's something that I will really love to do. That after winning Project Runway, they were telling me, there was the possibility to go to New York, but then I decided to stay in Miami because thank God I had the opportunity to after winning to have good advisors, And I remember Nina Garcia from Elle Magazine. She was saying, "You're trying to come to New York when Madison Avenue, it's totally closed, and you're living from Florida where everybody's going to Florida. Like you're crazy." So I decided to stay, and I travel all the time. I go a lot. And I was thinking, yeah, I want to be the next Brito in 15 years, that you go to the airport and you have a print and you're like, oh, that's Shantall, like something iconic from Miami. Why not,
Yeah, like you're the Miami fashion designer.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah, I would like to become that. Yeah.
Do you know Brito? Have you met him?
No, I've never met him. I know who he is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen videos and
What's your biggest piece of advice for women?
Well, I think it will be, we live in a society that it's so easy for people and men to, I don't know how to say it, to twist us, and sometimes you start doubting and sometimes, and as women, we are so sensitive sometimes. So I think that we have to stay strict, as the power that we have, and not let nobody, men or even women, to push us down,
Right.
or give us that twist.
How can women notice when that's happening? Because a lot of these people don't even realize when it's happening. It becomes so normal.
It becomes normal.
I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about the hitting because that's
no,
obvious.
no, yeah, it's obvious.
But like
yeah. It's
the
another
little
thing.
things, right?
You have to be ready to be focusing in what you are, focusing and believing in yourself. I think that's very important. And sometimes people, they want to help, but you have to be focusing in what you are. I think that, like, reading and hearing about, or getting with the right people, it helps you.
For sure.
For sure. So it gives you like this an idea that when this situation is happening, you're like, no. Or let's say, we even do it with ourselves, I think that will be my best advice, like sometimes as parents, as a mother, you're always feeling, that so much guilt about, let's say, being here, and instead of taking my kids to whatever, like, okay, we miss it today, but I will make sure.
Or getting frustrated.
Exactly.
I got frustrated with my daughter this morning, I mean, I kept it internalized, but I was like, she could tell I was annoyed, and like, I feel guilty about that. I'm like, why did I do that?
But you're a human. You're a human, and you have to deal with this podcast today with me, and then our Basel events and whatever you're doing, So the thing is that, I don't know, biggest advice, it will be, to keep that strength that you were born with, and try to honor that strength, and not let life, don't let family, don't let kids, don't let school, don't let, nobody to make you feel, something that you're not, because sometimes I think our biggest challenge is to deal with us, with ourselves. It's not a person,
it's an internal battle.
Yeah, exactly. It's an internal battle.
Do you feel
it's so, yeah, all the time.
Me too. All the time.
All the time. I feel, and if not as a mother,
as a businesswoman, as a creator,
you are not giving time enough. You are not, running enough. You
didn't
not
hit targets enough.
And yeah, exactly, because you want more. But for me, it's been a long process, to work with that interior that it's trying to go like that.
It's a blessing. It's an asset and a liability.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about everything. It's about kids. It's about everything. It's about work and guilt about not being the mother you think in society and Instagram tells you must be. And at the same time, you're not the businesswomen, or you're not going as fast as others.
I know. I feel like I'm not going as fast.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but it's a constant struggle of like, because I think people like us have this big drive, like you said, small country, big dreams. I have big dreams, I didn't come from a small country, but I came from kind of a small-ish minded middle class way of town, and I had these big dreams. And I think I have this big desire to, just I have so many ideas of things that I want to do before. So it's this big burning desire to reach my potential. But that takes time in the physical universe.
Exactly.
And I'm trying so
in the
hard.
physical
I want to
universe,
be,
totally.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like in
course.
my mind, it's like right there.
Yeah.
And then the actions you have to take to actually make it manifest.
Everything takes time.
And that's what's so frustrating, and that's what's so hard. And I do try to enjoy it along the way, but I really do feel happy when I hit goals and targets, except by the time I hit the goals and targets,
You're too exhausted, or
no,
or you're thinking another thing.
Exactly. Now I move the bar ahead, and sometimes I
Yeah.
forget to celebrate the wins along the way because I
Same
keep
thing.
pushing the bar out.
It's the perfect example. Like when you finally get there, the bar goes
Exactly.
You know, so
and then I never want to celebrate because I'm like, yeah, well,
it's so bad.
It's
so bad being like that, you know, because life is so fast, and I try, you know, to say it myself every time, you know, like I was telling you, you know, like right now I was driving here, and I was thinking that 5 years, 6 years ago that I came, I've heard about you guys, you know, and so interesting me being sitting here with you, you know, so it's incredible. And I was driving and I was just like enjoying, you know, like with the music and everything.
Oh, I love that.
And sometimes we have to, you know, like we have to stop and try to
enjoy,
to taste different things, you know. Maybe it's not the whole goal, you know, maybe they're just small steps.
That's right.
But it's hard.
It is.
You have to be like in today mental health, you know, like just living today and not thinking on tomorrow. So it's very hard.
Yeah, I try recently. I want to enjoy my family more. Mm-hmm. So I'm really trying to create on the family dynamic, the unit. Really, I catch myself still sometimes being on the phone because 10 million things come at me when they're in front of me. And then they walked out of the room and I didn't even realize they walked out of the room. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, because I really just like, I'm trying to put it down more to really be with them because I know they're going to be out of the house soon. And so I'm really trying to just shut that part off.
Theirs were so hard.
Yeah.
Because it's your work, it's happening right now. But the other thing, it's happening right now too,
right,
you know?
Right.
So it's...
And they're both important because I want to make an impact globally. So I have to do that in order...
you're a woman, not just a mother.
I know. But I am trying to do more. But it is really wonderful for you to come in here and say, I heard about you 5 years ago, and now I was enjoying the moment walking, you know, driving over here, and you're sitting here with me. And I take that in and I'm like, wow, because sitting over here with my life and all of the things that bombard me and talking about the internal battles and the people that I have surrounded myself with, they're 10Xers. We're all pushing our and stretching because that's what we do. We're not comfortable. We're not complacent. We have to break the glass ceiling so that we can set precedent for other people to be able to live to their full potential. Because that's when I'm the happiest, is when I'm like winning. And when we're winning, there's less hating. You know, you can take care of your family. So, but at the same time, the people that are around me are pushing and challenging me. And sometimes it feels like what you were saying, stay strong in your center. Because even though they're pushing me to be greater as I don't know, I'm not an athlete, but I imagine they go through something similar as this entrepreneur, mother, wife. I'm grappling with those same things. So,
but sometimes we break and has nothing bad on breaking.
Yeah.
When
I try not to break. I try not to break.
No, I try not to break either. That's why I was telling you that I get the seamstress and everything, you know. But I'm telling you, you know, like sometimes you just break. But hearing you, it was a week, an unexpected week. I had to do more things. So at the end, I don't know what happened. I started crying, and I was like, "Why am I crying?"
Wait, how often do you cry?
Well, not as often as I would like to.
Oh, I don't cry often at all. But I recently had to cry for the first time, probably in a year, maybe. So tell me about your. I'm like, tell me about your cry.
My crying. I was in the car, and
by yourself.
By myself, and
ooh, that's bold.
And I had a fight with my husband.
Oh no!
Normally, we don't fight much. We have a great relation, but it was something so dumb. That in another moment, it would be like, next, like, I don't care, I'm very like,
Me too.
not thinking on that.
Oh, me too. I'm
Yeah.
tough, man.
But then I started crying and crying, and I was going to somewhere that I need to do social media and thing, and I was like, I cannot keep on crying. But at the same time, inside of me, I just wanted to cry
And let it out.
and let it out, And I was thinking, of course, like, it's been the last 3 months. It wasn't my husband's fight. It was the last 3 months that we were launching collection and doing that. And we were like, we did something in LA, we did something in New York, we came here, we had to do Miami. Then, and the last week, something that we weren't expect to do, we did. So of course, like the week that I was supposed to relax a little, it was running. And then it's, like December, it's a week, for fashion, it's like you had to sales and everything and send everything.
Oh yeah, it's Christmas.
And my
holidays.
team in Nicaragua was going to vacations, and, so long story short, I started crying and crying. And sometimes you just have to break, like, it's like a superpower. You break and then you recover.
Start over.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're like,
Yeah,
got that out.
So
That's how I felt with my cry. I don't really cry very often, but it was a big one.
I remember I used to cry more, but now I wish I could cry more.
Me too. I used to cry. I don't cry. Very rarely. But
feels good.
Yeah. It does feel good. Not in the moment, because I'm like,
no.
oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I feel so weak.
Yeah. But that's
it's
the thing. That's the
that
thing.
we all go through these life moments, experiences. You're not crazy. Other people go through it. That's why when you said you enjoyed coming over here to be with me, I'm like, wow, like you have no idea. Not that I should seek the validation, but how validating it is for all of the work that we've been putting in. Like that, wow, that I made a difference in your life today on that level it's, I don't know how to express my gratitude, because I want to say thank you, because for me, it makes me go, I can have that. Like, thank you. That does make it all pay off. Everything that we're doing, because that's what I want to do in life, is make a difference.
So congratulations. And I'm feeling, I say it to myself too, congratulations. I was coming, like, congratulations, you've been for 5 years, and, like, Elena is going to interview, your family talks about Elena, and her husband, and like, it's so crazy. We've been in this country just for 5 years, so that's why you never know what life can bring to you. So,
right.
I decided just to enjoy. I felt very good.
Nice.
And I wake up very, very happy today too.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
it was
beautiful.
Thanks to you and for this amazing invitation.
I love it. What does 10X Ladies mean to you?
Well, I think, as I said, it's like being the next Brito.
Ooh,
it's about being in Nas Marcus.
Yeah.
It's having the target collaboration.
It's like 10X levels.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that definitely we can get there. It's been it's been that mother too, like that better mother, that more patient and more everything, like it's 10 of whatever, like it's not just business, it's about life.
It's
life. About like hold that thing that we were talking at the beginning, and just like give some gasoline or something like that to go like that.
Do you think you are comfortable talking about money? Do you know about money?
Well, I'm a creative,
me too.
Who have I've had to learn about everything. But yeah, I mean, I talk about whatever I need to talk, to get my dream come true,
Right.
So I try to prepare, I try to learn, because why should I be scared of talking to money about money?
Exactly. But a lot of women don't.
Why?
And men, they don't like to talk about money. I think I was raised not to talk about money.
What do you mean?
I was raised to be taught not to tell how much I earn, I make. I was always afraid of, if I talked about money, I would make myself sound like I was arrogant, or show offy, or somehow if you talk about money, you only care about money and not people in life. So don't talk about money like that. You were never indoctrinated that way?
No.
Wow. What do they teach you about money?
Thing is that I know, let's say, I remember when I was living in Nicaragua and they were teaching me English, and I used to go to the classes and they teach you. And they teach you a lot of the books. Most of the books, they were American books, the ones they do to teach English. So I remember the one time the teacher was saying, you don't ask how much money people make because it's
rude.
Yeah,
See?
Yeah, it's
and it
rude.
came from an American book.
Yeah, so I was like, really? So it was. I now that you're saying it, everything makes sense. I mean, I'm more relaxed, and I think it's always good to talk. Listen, let's say I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
I'm a woman who's growing.
Yes.
It's better to talk about numbers with a friend who knows more about numbers than you.
Bingo.
But
or you're going to get bad advice.
Yeah, but if not, then because you don't want to tell what you produce or whatever, and I think it's always important, at least that's how I am, to understand where you are standing, where are you standing right now, why are you going to feel bad to be standing on this position? Maybe others are in a better position of money, but you're growing and you're getting there,
right.
So you are in a
right.
process. I don't know, so
right.
So that's the way I think.
Do you manage your money, or you said you're a creative?
I'm
so
a
that
creative.
Made me think
what I mean when I said I'm a creative, I mean that I've learned how to manage the money, but I'm not that good at it,
Why not? Why aren't you good at it? What does that mean you're not good at it? How do you know you're not good at it?
Well, maybe I am, because let's say, how to explain? Like, my head works to create, and I have to think in everything: production, cost, sales, retail, wholesale, everything, so I've learned it. It's not something that I love, so I think there's people who knows more about finance than me, and every time that I had to deal with money, I prefer to get near that people.
Smart.
Who knows more about how to move the money, instead of...
Who do you trust for that role?
Well, we have, my husband and I, we have a finance advisor who help us. Right now, for example, like winning Project Runway, it was like, okay, you had a price of $250,000, right?
Oh,
and
that was the price?
That was the price.
Okay. You won that free and clear.
Yeah.
Good.
But then you have to, of course, declare and the taxes and everything.
Oh, of course.
So let's say we were in a position that we wanted to buy a house, and it was like, okay, how are we going to buy a house, But at the same time, I want to invest.
Why did you want to buy a house?
Because we wanted to have a house here.
Why didn't you rent a house?
Because we already rented, because we wanted to have, how do you call? In Spanish, we say patrimonio. We wanted to have...
What does that mean?
What is that? Patrimonio, that means that we wanted to have an asset for us.
Wait, did the financial advisor advise this?
No, we wanted. We wanted to have an asset.
Okay.
Ours. Asset.
I was going to say, get rid of that financial advisor.
Okay, no. I don't know if the asset it's the right word. It says...
No, but I know what you mean, an asset. Most people...
I had to have an asset. So, and the rent, it was so high that it was practically the same. Renting. So what I did was to get the money. Still, I had to pay a lot of taxes because of the price. So it was a perfect moment, because you have to pay the taxes. So it was the perfect moment. So what I did, was I invest part of like my family and what we wanted, and another part, it was, for the business and the supply chain. And I give myself a salary. I think it was like for the first time. And it was the first time, the perfect thing that I did, because all the time it was just about, getting and giving, getting and giving, getting and giving. That's what I'm saying, that I'm not that, I mean, I've learned how to do my numbers, but I'm not a very good person on numbers. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I wish.
But you think it's important for women to know money?
Yes, of course.
You do, yeah.
Of course.
Is your husband good with money?
I'm better than him.
Yeah. Okay. What does he do?
He's a photographer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's a photographer, but I'm more the one who has the finance of the. He's a good photographer, another creative. Exactly, another creative. But I'm the one who managed the finance from the house. It's me, because I'm more like, no, we're not spending on this, and I'm the one who moves.
That's amazing. You're incredible.
Thank you.
What last question here? Like I'm all about empires over here. What does that idea of an empire philosophy mean to you?
In general?
Yeah, like how would you interpret that?
Well, you don't have to. An empire, it's something that you built, that it's sustainable in a lifetime, in afterlife, like that's an empire. Something
legacy.
A legacy, exactly.
Oh,
that's what I'm doing too.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Whatever my kids wants to do with that, like.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I know you get everything you put your your intentions on. So I know once you get clear exactly where you want to go, we're going to be seeing that manifest itself. You're going to be there
sitting.
I'm going to be there. I want my invitation.
Of course.
Do you do big fashion shows?
Yeah. We do events. We do a lot of networking events.
Oh, here I have to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just had one. So sad that we didn't
Dang.
before.
Okay, but I'll be a part of the next one. Okay. Sure. And I'm going to be representing. I love this outfit. I love your brand. I'm going to be wearing it more. Thank you for your time today, for your knowledge. You definitely enriched my life today. Thank you.
I'm happy for that.
I'm happy for that. So thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Yeah.